Welcome back to Deadly Dissection, our first episode of 2026, the new
I'm
year.
still screwing it up. I mean, usually it takes like 2 weeks for me to get the year right, but it's a little
So
harder when you're working from home.
here's to hoping 2026 is an improvement over 2025.
Like every movie where they're like lost out in the woods and they're like, well, at least it's not raining. That's what I feel like every time I think, well, it can't be worse. Um, so I'm
And here
trying to
comes
just
here comes the
not
rain.
think about it. Trying to just not think about it.
Yeah. Well, we have got a banger today
Oh,
for the show. So put
it's
your
so good.
existential thinking caps on and get ready for some existential dread because this movie travels down the cosmic rabbit hole.
Sure
The
does.
void. The void. This is perfect Lovecraftian cosmic horror to a T.
Oh my God, it's
And
amazing.
that's what I love so much about this movie. I think this is safe to say because we've talked about this before. We've talked about cosmic horror, but this one is probably one of our favorites.
Yeah, there's
Cosmic horror, it's up there.
another one that so have you seen Older Gods?
Yes,
Okay.
you
Well, I
told me
have
about that one.
I have once we get further into it, because I started to rewatch that and there was a quote in there that I was like, "Oh snap." Um, but yeah, The Void is one where I'm always like, "Oh, I love that movie." And then I rewatch it and I'm like, "Holy crap, I love this movie."
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I remember that it's good, but not how good until I watch it again. So,
yes,
it's it's
yeah.
gold.
I think this watch through was my fourth or fifth time
Mm,
to watch the film. When it first dropped, I think I watched it like twice in a row. That's how much
yeah.
I liked it. I was like, oh my gosh. And here's a fun fact for you. Since you read my Dreadful Death series,
Mhm.
The Void had an influence in the Theodosia story
Oh, snap.
and like the cosmic horror, but especially the robes. The robes. If you remember the scene in Theodosia with the children and they have the full robes and they have the tetramet symbol painted
Yes.
on the face, Void was an influence for that because I thought the
I
robes in this
I can
movie
see.
were just downright creepy.
Oh, they're terrifying. Um, and random fun fact. I don't know. Do you watch Letterkenny? Have we ever talked about Letterkenny?
I have, yes. I have
So
watched
I'm a huge
that.
fan, but I had not watched this movie since I watched Letterkenny. So seeing that guy that the sheriff finds at the beginning, and it's Roald from Letterkenny, who's always with Stuart in the basement. It was one of those things where it was weird trying to take him seriously. Instead of just like waiting for him to be like, Stuart. Um, so that
Yeah.
kind of threw me for a loop. But
I'm glad I saw the void before I started watching Letterkenny.
yeah,
I
no,
would have
this
had
is
the same problem.
this is a
Same
gem. And I'm trying
problem.
to think, I feel like I've seen um the sheriff before. Why can I not remember what his name is? I literally just watched this. Um,
Stop it.
The Void. If I was proactive, I would have had this pulled up already. Daniel. That's his name, Daniel.
Daniel, yes.
Um, I feel like I've seen him in. Okay, so he was in The Empty Man, The
Okay.
Conspiracy, um, Spiral, but not the Saw one that Saw fans don't talk about.
We don't mention
Um,
Spiral.
exactly. One called The Samaritan,
I
The
haven't seen this
Fraternity.
Samaritan.
Wow, The Fraternity. That's one I haven't thought about in a long time.
Now, I just
With
watched The Empty Man for the first time this past year.
I think we watched that right around the same time. Well, probably because we usually do.
Yeah.
Uh, what's that one? Kill Victoria. Um, looks like he's done a ton of bit parts here and there, like nothing super huge, I would say. Um, but I mean, this one is good enough all on its own.
I
Um,
gotta let the cat out. Hold on. Out,
penny,
out.
penny, penny.
After she mauled my hand.
She's just trying to help. Um, I thought the wife looked familiar too, but I have not seen any of those movies. And then, of course, the one that plays the doctor is one of those guys that you see with a part in like every single movie, but you never know his name. Um, Kenneth Walsh. He's been in like The Day After Tomorrow, Exorcism of Emily Rose, Four Brothers, Jean Claude Van Damme's Time Cop. Real banger right there. Crocodile Dundee 2, the remake of The Fog. He's definitely one that I've seen in a lot of horror movies and kind of darker. Oh, Zodiac even. Undercover Grandpa. So yeah, he's one of those, like I said, you see him in everything. Um, you just don't ever know exactly who he is or what he's done when you have to think about it. Oh, you're muted. Penny's really throwing you for a loop, man. Nope. Nope. She unplug you somewhere? I'm just like, fine, he doesn't have anything to say. It's all right. I'll just sit here and talk to myself for an hour.
No.
There we go. Oh, nope, not now. I heard the oh, and that was nope. We're like a Verizon commercial now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Penny, penny, penny.
All right. So, The Void is a cosmic horror that centers around this cult. And you basically have this, I mean, it's literally like a soul sucking cult, and the people get turned into these weird cosmic horror type of creatures. And the movie gets started very fast.
It does. I
So
I forgot how quick it kicks off.
this is not a slow burn cosmic horror at all.
No. No. And I also the first time I watched this was when I was still working in dispatch. Um, so like that the very opening scene where like the dispatcher's being a smartass with him and stuff. I was like, know what that's like. Um, and then just thinking about like being a dispatcher trying to get in touch with your officer and it's obviously radio silence. Like nobody can get any information out of that hospital. Um, but they do a really good job of starting things off and keeping things, even though they go to a different couple of places in the hospital. It's pretty contained, which
Yeah,
is
they keep it in the
smart.
hospital there. A lot of the movie. Um, so that's the basic premise. I mean, it sounds pretty simple, but as this film progressive, you have some very existential themes that come out in this movie, and it's almost like an inversion of everything good. uh,
That's a good way to. It's a safe way to
Pretty
say
much.
it.
This is very nihilistic. I would I would say, philosophically speaking, there's nothing redemptive in this movie. Like
No,
it's
not really.
very it's very
Dark.
dark. But I think the purpose of that, of all the inversion of things, makes some great points about existence and life. It's kind of one of these things. It's like the polar opposite of what we think existence should be about.
Yeah.
Um,
One last comment before we get into the deeper stuff. I really like that at no point are any of the cult members like disrobed, because that always makes them feel more human when you see there's like a person under there,
yeah, that's
scrambling to do
true.
whatever. They're just all these super creepy, brainwashed, horrifying, like there's no reading any emotion from them at all. It's like they're a bunch of machines.
Yes.
And I feel like that made them a little more terrifying than they would have been otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely. It's
so the quote I was gonna bring, or the reference that I was gonna bring up from Older Gods, is one that's like a fascinating thought for me. And I had forgotten all about it. But they say in there, like, what if our existence is the dream of just some giant entity out there? What happens when it wakes up? Like, do we just all disappear? Do we become part of its reality? Like, there's so many like cosmic, I can't, I feel like instead of a rabbit hole, this is a wormhole, just for
yeah.
keeping it on theme.
Yeah.
Um, but it's cosmic horror to me, when it's done well, is probably one of the most terrifying types of horror. But it is very difficult to do well. Is kind of the struggle there. I feel like especially with creature design and stuff, it's easy to look super cheesy and be kind of hard to take seriously. Um, it's tough when you're dealing with such huge questions and themes to really nail it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Dealing with themes of the unknown, what is out there that we have no idea that is out there, what is lurking beneath
Hmm.
the surface, just waiting
Yeah.
to come out.
And I always feel ridiculous saying this, but I was thinking about it earlier, and like once I start thinking down like this cosmic road, um the most terrifying thing to me is like the end of Men in Black, when the marble on the dog's collar is like part of just like a game that these huge other beings are playing, and we're just like completely insignificant.
Yeah.
um for some reason, like that, thinking about it from that perspective, because you always have people say, is it more terrifying to think that like there's nothing out there, or that there's something out there that just doesn't care, or there's something out there that's, you know, gonna come
Yeah.
up and murder us all.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I just I always think of that. What was the dog's name? Frank.
Frank.
Um, I just always think of Frank with that little marble on his necklace, and I'm like, man, that is such a different spin on that movie than when I watched it as a kid.
Yeah. Cosmic horror plays off of the fearfulness of the dark side of existence.
Mm.
What if it is really mass chaos that just appears as order, and that chaos is just waiting to break out?
Escape.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the void does that well.
Hmm.
It does it very, very well. And so, if people out there who watch this, if you are a cosmic horror fan and you have not seen this movie,
What are you doing with your life?
You have got to remedy that now and
Yeah.
watch.
I would say it's right up there with Event Horizon
It is.
for
It
me.
is.
It's definitely, and it, of course, one of the common themes I feel like when you get into grief, and this was grief horror I didn't mind because it wasn't like fresh grief, so to
Yeah.
speak. Um, but kind of that theme of like what damage can people do when they refuse to accept something. Um, the doctors, the whole point of his problem was his daughter was sick and she died. And that was when he started digging into this occult stuff, convinced to bring her back. And of course, we as humans we have the audacity to think that we can control any of those forces that are out there.
Yeah.
And that what comes back is going to be what you wanted to bring back. Come on. There's no way.
Exactly. Exactly. I think one of the one of the themes, the philosophical themes that I like in this movie that makes it so terrifying is you have this the void is like anti-God. It is negative theology run amok and just gone wrong. Like the void, it functions kind of as a counterfeit absolute. And so, for example, what I mean by that is in classical theism, right? You have God is being, he is existence itself. In the void, what you have is the ultimate reality is non-being, and it is chaos, and it is the negation of all of that. And
Mm,
it's imagining a world that is really run and functioning with chaos, nothing, negativity, annihilation. And that's the whole perverted angle that this film plays off of. Instead of God, this being of love existing beyond our comprehension, because he is the essence of what being is, the void is incomprehensible because it is empty of any meaning whatsoever. And so for me, looking at that and the horror that it plays off of and that arises is that truth is not love, truth is not order or purpose, truth is annihilation. Absolute annihilation.
yeah.
And that creates existential angst, I think.
Mm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think bringing up older gods again, they call it primal fear in that one about how like some people just get fixated on that concept and it like drives them insane. Like this idea that we're all insignificant and we could be swept up in a solar system dustpan somewhere and just like tossed out in the trash.
Yeah.
Um and I mean once you start digging into it, like you get up in the morning, you go to work, why? You pay the bills, why? Like it just removes any sense of purpose for anything.
Yeah.
Which I feel like can be a really dark, definitely a dark place to kind of let your mind wander down. Um, and from a woman's perspective too, it was terrifying seeing this like nasty wriggling creature being implanted into poor Allison's stomach because she's like supposed to give birth to it.
Yeah.
And it's like that feeling of how she has just been turned into an incubator and that is her purpose. And I mean, the idea like obviously I don't have kids. But one thing that always concerned me when thinking about having kids was how weird it would be to know there was something living inside you, wiggling around and stuff in there. Um, I mean, it's a little different when it's like a human baby instead of some cosmic monster, but
Yeah.
it just, it was definitely, I would say, a blessing that she was kind of delusional at that point and didn't really understand what was happening. At least that was the impression I got, because she was kind of treating it like she was actually pregnant with
Yeah.
their son that she had lost. But yeah, I thought that was, I don't know if they meant for that to be a thing or not, but I picked up on that watching it, so
Yeah.
it was a little
Definitely.
extra gross.
Yeah. The other theme I thought they did well, talking about this whole negation, is you have this thing of false transcendence and resurrection. So the doctor, Dr. Powell, is that his name? Richard Powell, something like that. So the doctor
Yes, Richard
promises,
Powell.
okay, the doctor promises the cult and promises these people this sort of transcendence beyond death, beyond their frail existence. But when you look at what he actually offers them, it's this really bleak continuation without any type of restoration. It's this existence without any type of identity, and it's this unadulterated power without any type of goodness in it whatsoever. Yeah. In that contrast, what we see in Christian theology with God, that resurrection is meant to restore the body and the soul. Identity is preserved and it is glorified, and death is defeated, not bypassed. And so in the void, you got this idea that death is denied, but the corruption remains and the bodies persist, but the personhood is totally erased. Like,
oh god,
that's
that
what's
scene
terrifying.
when they get to the basement and all the dead bodies are just like moving, and the
Yeah.
one keeps like bashing its face against a pipe and there's just a hole through its head.
Yes.
That was, oof, that was rough.
Like your whole personhood is just gone,
You're a
erased.
meat suit.
Pretty much. It's like, I don't even know. Like, imagine, I think that's kind of terrifying, is just imagine your whole soul, everything that makes you is gone. It's annihilated.
Kind of like being a zombie.
In a way.
Unless you've watched Warm Bodies, because in that case, you can come back from zombiehood.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought that was another interesting spin that I picked up on.
And I loved the character, what was her name? Kim, I think. The nursing student.
The nurse, okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like, this girl, she's sitting there talking to a patient at the beginning of the movie, and she's complaining about how she doesn't get to see anything cool, and she is sent to this podunk little hospital that nobody cares about. And next thing you know, it kicks off, and the other nurse has carved out this patient's eyes and her own eyes and is like trying to cut her own face off, and people are getting shot, and there's creatures, and this poor thing is just like, she got what she asked for by the end of it. She wanted excitement. She got excitement.
Yeah. Oh, she did. She definitely did.
I was surprised that she made it too. I was not, the first time I watched it, I was not expecting her to be our final girl.
Oh, same. I thought she was gonna die. That's like, this chick is toast.
Could be worse. She could have ended up on like Loki's planet or whatever that
whatever the last scene was. Yeah, I still am not sure, and I think they left it maybe kind of mysterious on purpose.
Yeah, more ambiguity means more wondering and thinking about it and contemplation. Yeah. Which is kind of one of my favorite things about cosmic horror, because you can't watch a good cosmic horror movie and not walk away thinking about it for like the rest of the day. If it doesn't haunt your thoughts, it wasn't done right.
Yes. And they leave the element of mystery there. They
Mhm.
don't explain everything. I think a lot of movies nowadays, there's over explanation about the who and the why,
Yeah.
and cosmic horror doesn't do that necessarily.
Yeah. They shouldn't anyways. Um, but it does, and I get that, like, there are, some people that just want their movies spoon-fed to them. And, everybody goes through that mood too. Like, I just want to watch something that's just like bloody and ridiculous and horror at its most simple.
Yeah,
But there are definitely some subgenres of horror where you can't do that. Because you're missing out on so much
yeah,
and depriving everybody of a really good film.
yes. Now I will mention this because this movie needs to be brought up. And I know we talked about doing it, but it just didn't seem like there was of rich as themes in it as there is The Void. But Strange Harvest,
Oh yeah.
that movie plays on mystery, and it doesn't really answer. It keeps that tension and that mystery of uh, really
What
what
the hell
is,
is going on?
is happening here.
Yeah.
Uh,
They do such a good job with that. Like taking, what you think is just this guy who's batshit crazy, off his rocker, out there killing people, and then kind of flip it on its head to like, oh, maybe he was not so crazy after all. And is that more terrifying or less terrifying?
yeah, yeah, and like they begin to slowly uncover it. And the thing is, for people who haven't seen it, go watch this, especially if you like mockumentaries. This
Yeah.
movie is so realistic. And I think you and I both agree this is probably one of the most realistic mockumentaries. Like
Oh
you feel
yeah.
like you're watching a true crime documentary, a true crime
Yeah.
documentary.
It's like, I mean, found footage fans in general, like, have seen the Poughkeepsie tapes and like how brutal that one is. But this one is just above that.
Yeah,
It's not just like reenactments later or just watching footage. Like you're seeing police body cam footage of murder scenes and, nothing is blurred out. It's all there for you to get an eyeful and gag
yeah,
a little bit at. Um, and it's one of those where if I was not like, a, I feel dumb calling myself like an experienced horror fan. But if I were to just like kind of stumble on this movie without really any knowledge of found footage or horror in general, this is one I would have to Google. Is it a documentary
yeah.
or is it fake?
It
Um,
is so well done.
it's amazing. You know what? I might have to watch that when we're done with this now.
Yeah,
Now I'm
same
all
here. You can rent it on Amazon or it's streaming on Hulu right now.
Oh, it's streaming on Hulu?
Streaming on Hulu, yes.
Of course, I went and bought it on Amazon. That's all right. No regrets.
No regrets. They're right.
So good.
So the other theme that I saw in this movie, Tasha, how familiar are you with Gnosticism?
I'll give you two guesses, and the first one doesn't count.
So Gnosticism was this later branch of Christianity that started to develop in the second and third century after the eyewitnesses and the apostles started to die off, and it you start seeing little bits and pieces of it early on in Christianity. But one of the things with Gnosticism is it says that the body is a prison and that the flesh must be escaped, and that there's this secret knowledge that saves that other people don't have access to. And Jesus's coming was not so much about his death and resurrection as it was about imparting the secret gnosis, the secret knowledge to his followers. And so I couldn't help but see some Gnosticism in the cult with the void because he treats the human body as basically raw material, and
Yeah.
is just like this failed type of a failed prototype in a sense, and it's something to be discarded. Like the body really has no inherent value to it
Yeah.
whatsoever. Where contrasted, right, in Christian theology, we're all created in the image of God. The incarnation of Christ shows that the human body has value, and then the whole concept of a resurrection at the end of glorified body shows that God places value on the body. So again, you have this whole negative inversion going on to where the body is bad. It's just like this, again, this raw material that has no meaning or purpose in it. And when you dispose of embodiment, you don't become spiritual. The movie shows that you become monstrous.
Yeah. That one creature design where it's just kind of like an amalgamation of all the victims it's taken so far.
Yeah.
That was horrifying. I've read some stories that have concepts kind of like that, and it's always so gross to imagine. So I would say their effects on this movie are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um,
That thing
but just
reminded me very much of The Thing, something The Thing like.
oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I guess that's kind of cosmic horror too, or is that just like straight sci-fi?
I would say The Thing has definitely cosmic horror
Yeah,
elements to
that's
it.
fair.
Sci-fi
Um,
cosmic horror.
I've only actually watched it twice. I'm sure you can guess why. Um,
Yeah, poor Pup Pup. Poor Pup.
yes. And I know, like, by the time that happens, they weren't really dogs anymore. But, we had a husky growing up. So
I love
my,
huskies.
my bleeding heart just, oh, he
I
was the
love
cutest. So
huskies.
he was part husky, part terrier. So he was built kind of like a corgi. Like he had short legs, but the
Oh,
long body and the curly tail and floppy ears. And he was, I'll have to send you pictures. He was the goofiest looking dog, but he was so cute. And I have never seen another dog that looks like him
God.
in my life. Who's Sparky?
Oh,
Um, so yeah, I'm always like, oh, that's my buddy. And
I definitely want to see it if it's corgi like, because
oh, it's so cute. He's
that's
like a
what I
little bit
have as a
taller, but
corgi.
definitely that body shape of
Yeah.
what corgis
Yeah, definitely send me pictures. I want to see. I
are.
want to see. Now,
Yeah, Event Horizon is one I need to revisit too. I haven't I haven't watched that one in quite a while.
I think there's probably some overlapping themes with this and Event Horizon. If I
Yeah,
had
I would
to,
think so. Like
to
it's
get,
pretty isolated, which I mean, I guess that's not really a requirement for cosmic horror, but I guess it does kind of work best when it's kept to a small environment like that as
yeah,
far as film.
yeah. There were some the cult element too reminded me. I mean, we've hit on the Lovecraftian themes. I mean, Lovecraft always had, especially when you look at Dagon. Have you seen the movie Dagon based off the
That's an
Lovecraft?
older one, right? Like
Uh,
80s.
no, I think this one was. It might have been late '90s or early 2000s.
Let's see. Dagan?
Dagon,
GON.
maybe. Yeah. Um,
Okay, 2001.
okay, yeah. So that one, you have this, small town, and they're all part of this cult. And you got some visitors that come to the town. It has a very kind of similar notion to it. Not near as
Well,
creepy. The cult's not near as creepy, but it's
got good
it's
rate.
still a good one.
Yeah, the cult in this one is just I would say that's one of the best cult depictions I've seen. Um
Mhm.
there's so many movies where, like I said, at the end or at the heart of it, like you know that it's still a human under there. They're still feeling and experiencing whatever their reasons are for being a part of this cult. But these ones are just like blank canvases.
Yeah.
And oh, when they move like in unison and everything, when there's like the group of them outside,
Yeah.
it makes the hair on my arm stand up.
That one scene, that outside scene is it's
Mhm.
perfect. Like it's so good. It
Yeah,
gets the creep factor definitely going for
and
me.
think about hospitals, like they're not built for that kind of survival.
Yeah.
Like they're not built to make sure you can close the doors and keep them locked and make sure everything's secured and all of that. Like it's just not designed for that. Uh,
Hmm.
and especially because that one, I think they said there had been a fire there in past years, so they were just kind of like gradually dying out as far as their usage of it. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was being stranded in the middle of nowhere with a creepy army. Like, ugh.
Yeah. Led by that crazy doctor who I
Ugh.
would say in a sense, Dr. Powell is almost like this Faust figure
Mm.
in a sense that he's seeking this mastery over life and this mastery over death, and he refuses any type of moral limits
Oh
whatsoever.
yeah.
And he believes that uh, to gain enlightenment, it justifies all means whatsoever absolutely necessary.
Oh yeah. Sacrifice everything. Huh.
Yeah, I
Chuck it on
kind
the
of
burn pile.
I kind of saw some connections with Faust with that as well. That was one of the things it reminded me of. I was like, oh,
Mm.
very very Faustian in this. And then it got me thinking about the creation mythology in the book of Genesis, where um, you've got the tree of knowledge, which is taken out of disobedience, and knowledge becomes alienating rather than illuminating,
Mm.
because you've got this sense where, like, philosophically speaking, like knowledge disconnected from virtue can become destructive, right?
Oh yeah.
Look at AI, look at nuclear things. Like, if you have all this knowledge and have these things but you don't have ethics and virtue to
Yeah. No
to
morality.
gain, they can become destructive, and reason without moral orientation becomes just great instrument for violence. And that's really what we see in this film, this pursuit of knowledge, that gnosis, but there's no virtue. There's
Mm-mm.
no virtue guiding it whatsoever.
Oh no. No, they give zero fucks about that one.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's God, that one feels a little too real if you apply it to everyday life these
I
days.
know, right?
Um, oof. But yeah, and that was I think that was part of what all the dead bodies were in the basement, right? They were people he had experimented on as a doctor. Oh, yeah, that's just especially, doctors who are historically slash stereotypically looked at as like these people who are lifesavers and encouraging new life and continued life and everything else. Like to have someone who has taken a Hippocratic oath and is
Yeah.
still going to sit there and just like treat these people like they're science experiments in eighth grade and they're dissecting a frog um, was
Yeah. I heard that too. Is that at the
that
window?
was no that was Oh, there's Ripley climbing into her crate. I'm not
Uh,
used to hear. She's been sleeping in there a lot more.
yeah.
Because I don't have their bed in here, so that's the closest comfy place. Um, but I'm not used to hearing her climb in there, so that kind of threw
It's
me
one of
for
the
a loop.
cult members from the void. They're,
Right?
they're
The good
standing
news is,
outside in your yard
ugh,
in their
Journey would
robes.
lose his ever-loving mind. So I at least have that knowledge. Like,
Oh
there's
yeah,
no
he would
way.
know they're out there. He'd be barking. He'd be your
He
alert.
Yeah, he would. And he's kind of like my home security system too. Like, I guarantee if somebody had to pick a house on this stretch of road to break into, nobody would pick this one because I know my dog's an asshole. So,
Yeah. Watching at the fence every
yep,
day.
peeking his head over, looking to
Yeah,
see what's going on.
he
So,
knows.
yeah, I feel quite safe. Everybody's like, "Oh, you should get a gun. Like, you're a single woman living by yourself." And I'm like, "Have you seen my dog? Like, why?"
Good old
Ripley
Journey.
would probably sell me out for some belly rubs, but I have faith in Journey at least. As much as he drives me nuts with barking at every moving blade of grass. That's good to know that he's on it.
Yeah, and nothing's gonna get by him
No.
at
No.
all. At
Nope.
all.
He's been doing that thing again like the last 2 weeks or so where it'll be like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I've got like a let's play or something on YouTube. It's a horror game, of course. And he'll wake himself, like he'll startle himself awake and wake up barking. Um, and of course, he's 90 pounds. So when he barks, he sounds like he's about to murder somebody. So my heart rate will just like skyrocket because he scares the shit out of me. And I have to be like, shut up.
Oh my
You
god.
woke yourself up. You startled yourself awake. Cut it out.
Oh my gosh.
And Ripley's just like, whatever.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
chill.
She is. Although I don't know if I told you, New Year's Eve into New Year's, like there were some people that set off fireworks. She's never had a problem with fireworks, and I found her hiding in my bathroom in the dark, shaking.
Oh, poor baby.
Like I wrapped her in a blanket and picked her up and carried her out to the couch because I couldn't get her to walk on her own. So she snuggled right up with me in her blanket, and Journey laid down and put his head on her, and we just kind of, for once, it was him doing the reassuring when she was nervous instead instead of the other way around. So that threw me for a loop. I've never seen her like that before. So I don't know what was different, but
Brother and
new
sister.
year, new anxiety.
One more thing to add to the list.
Right?
Oh man. And thinking back to the void, like I keep going back because it's not, this idea of metaphysical horror is not something that is really done a lot
Mm-mm.
in horror movies. So my mind keeps jumping back to that. We kind of hit about the loss of humanity, this idea where, loss of the image of God, and in Christian theology, you got this unified body and soul, made in the image of God, and we're sacred. And in the void, just your identity is dissolved, your personhood is dissolved, and you become replaceable. You have no meaning, you have no purpose, you have zero value whatsoever, and the flesh becomes interchangeable for something else. And it's like these people. I mean, I just wonder how much, how cognizant and conscious they are of what is actually happening to them.
Yeah.
Like that was
That's
the
a
other
good question.
it was going on. It's like, okay, you've got a loss of all morals, a loss of identity, a loss of value, a loss of personhood. What's left in your conscious mind?
Yeah. Like, is there any part caged away in there that's still like somewhat aware of what's going on or retaining any kind of like you said, like consciousness? Or is it just all, is it literally like a machine now? Especially the way they
I
moved in sync. It's like,
yes.
is it like a hive mind kind of thing?
Ooh,
Um,
yeah, that's a good idea.
I could see I could see that being the case. Um, yeah, because that scene just sticks in my head where they all like partially raise their arm with a knife in it. Um, ugh, that's a weird one.
I almost I almost imagine, okay, so let's correlate this into real life experience, okay? Think about your existence and how you feel when you don't feel valued, when you don't feel loved, right? Think of how hurt and depressed and lonely and isolated that makes you feel. Think about how you just go through the motions in
Yeah.
life because you don't feel like you have value, you don't feel like you have purpose, you feel like nobody cares. uh,
Mm,
and then you almost just kind of fall in line with the daily grind, just like
yeah.
all those people are moving in unison. You just go through your existence, your daily life empty.
Yeah. And
uh,
numb to everything and just kind of,
so I wonder if we take that and amplify it, if that's what it's like for these people in the movie, if there's just this total numbness of
yeah,
existence.
that could be. That's a good point too. As far as there not being a lot of movies that kind of tackle themes like this, do you think it's something that's intimidating to filmmakers?
It's hard. It's hard to do it right.
Yeah.
Like it's extremely hard, especially in film where you have to show so much and you can't explain things with words. Like you can't
Yeah.
explain the consciousness and the numbness or what they're feeling as you could in a book, right?
And to
Uh,
do it without making it look ridiculous, especially as far as character or creatures are concerned.
mhm.
Um, because it's so easy to make it look like some 80s B movie with just like tentacles flopping around and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and they feel like they did a good job avoiding that with this one. And even the world at the end that they kind of end up in, or the reality, or whatever it is,
Hmm.
even that didn't feel super cheesy, which I also think is a difficult one to, how do you make it look like they're not just in one of the episodes of Star Wars, uh,
Yeah.
and just make it like this entire new existence, and
Yeah.
wondering where Earth falls into that existence, or is
I
it like
think what made it,
dimensions, or
yeah. What made it so effective is that it was so short at the end. Like
Mhm.
they didn't give you a lot of detail.
No, you didn't get to sit there and dissect it and pick it apart, and it's just kind of like a flash. And I wonder I wonder if they were leaving it open for a sequel.
I wish.
I see, I have mixed feelings about it
I want another
because
voice.
part of what makes it effective is not having those answers. Um, so then it's like, and also, could they do that successfully again in 2026 and have it still feel the same?
Yeah,
Uh,
I want to see the cult again. I mean,
I know,
I want to
like
see
a
the cult
prequel.
again.
I would love a prequel.
Yeah,
Um, I'd be all on board for that one. Um, like
show us
how,
his experiments.
yeah, and how he managed to recruit so many people in this podunk little boonies area where there's probably like 10 people and 600 cows for a population. There's like this whole swarm of people in
Yeah.
this cult. Like, where did they come from?
How did he get them this way? You
Yeah.
know, that's
How
one of the
long does
things.
it take them to get to that point?
It never really explains all of that. It leaves that
Yeah.
a mystery.
Right. Yeah,
And that's
I think if they were to do something else associated with it, I would want it on the front end
more than
instead
the
of the
back
back end.
end. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get on board with that.
Which is
But
funny. Like when I first really started getting back into horror, like the end of 2021, um, do not give me a movie that doesn't answer questions at the end. Like, I want everything tied up with a nice little bow and walk away from it satisfied knowing what happened. Don't give me bad endings or like depressing endings or anything that's not nice and neat. Um, and then I, started watching horror more and realized that there are no such endings in horror. So I have thankfully been able to grow a bit there as far as my preference for endings
look at
is
you
concerned.
blossoming.
I know it's crazy. Um, oof. Yeah, and it still bugs me sometimes because I mean, like I just tend to fixate on certain things.
Hmm.
So if something like really gets under my skin, it will drive me nuts for centuries down the road. Um, so I have to like toe that line carefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Real.
I don't know. Void, the Void, 2 thumbs up,
Oh, absolutely.
way
I
up.
was trying to think. I don't know if I actually rated it. Anybody that's on Letterboxd, go follow me on Letterboxd because I like seeing other people on there. Um, it's under TMR 8706. Do you have Letterboxd? I can't remember if you use it. No,
I
it's such a
should.
good way. You should. Especially the way we kind of dig through. Okay, I gave it 4 stars out of 5. Especially the way we dig through found footage movies on Tubi where they all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
Uh, to at least have a rating in there and know that I watched it, and I'm like, okay, well, I can move on.
Speaking of found footage, we have not done a found footage movie yet on the show. We need to
We
pick one.
haven't, have we?
Find one that's got some.
And this is episode 14. What are we
Yeah,
even doing?
we haven't had a found footage movie yet.
Oh my gosh.
We got to come up with one.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Next week we will do a found footage movie.
Yes.
So our mission this week is to find one that we can break down that's got some deeper themes. That's
Hmm.
not just like a scary paranormal one, which those are good. I love those.
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
we'll have to think about that.
have you watched the new Horror on the High Desert yet?
The fourth one I have not. I haven't seen Majesty. Is that one maybe a possibility?
I would say so.
Okay,
Um,
I'll rent it this week.
I would have to rent it again because Brian and I binge watched all 4 because he had never seen those. He's a found footage fan. Um, but so we sat there and watched all 4 of them in a weekend.
I enjoyed the
Which is
third.
Yeah, they definitely amped things up. Um, yeah, anybody that's found footage fans, if you have not watched the Horror in the High Desert series, it is one of the few, especially indie series, where it feels like the director, Dutch, like he gets feedback and actually puts it to use in the next one. Like every installment just feels like it gets better and better to me, which seems like such a rare thing because it's like Tremors. You start out with Tremors, and then
Yeah.
by the time you get to Tremors 5, it's like, oh, all right, like I can't take this seriously.
Yeah,
Hell, even by 3, when they start calling them ass blasters,
I
like
love that. I love it. I want to ass blaster as a pet.
go to Taco Bell. Ugh. But yeah, It's definitely, and I think there's just one more in the series.
Okay.
Um,
Because I heard Majesty, like I've seen some people talking about it online saying that they like this one the best of all.
yeah, it's really good. If I had any criticism, I would say that while they are kind of bringing different plots together a little more, they're also digging into more. So it feels like they're kind of just adding more and more and more to the plate that they're going to have to resolve in the last one. But if they continue on that trend of like showing how so much of this is related, I can see where they can do that. And I have faith in Dutch. He's awesome. Um so we'll see. That's one I'm trying real hard not to like let my hopes skyrocket. Um just cuz I don't want to put it on too high of a pedestal and end up disappointed, but I'm really excited for it. So
I will rent Majesty, and I think I'm also going to rent Dream Eater and watch that one.
oh, have you not watched that one yet?
Mm-mm.
That would be yeah, that was an interesting one. Not
It's up in
not
the
as good
air,
as I was hoping, but it's what?
up in the air between that and Traumatica of which one I'm going to rent.
Oh, yeah, I still need to see Traumatic. Is that one up for rent now, or is it just
It
purchase?
is. Because
Yeah,
I'm wondering if Traumatica might have some themes that could be one we could do eventually as well.
I've heard some really good things about that one. I With what I've seen so far for like what the 2026 horror lineup is going to be, I think we're going to have a good year.
I do too. It
There's
looks very
certainly enough material to pull from real life at this point. So,
more every day. More every day. So this
right,
horror
uh,
writers, filmmakers, just take notes. Watch the news.
right, no kidding. Um, so yeah, I keep track in my calendar of like what the new releases are and when they're coming out and stuff. So I'll have to keep an eye on those.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, I will watch Majesty and I'll let you know. If,
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
all right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. And if you have not seen The Void, stop being a loser. Go see it. Go watch it.
Right now, and it's on Tubi. Like, there's no excuse.
Yes, it's free. Go
Just go
watch
do
it.
it.
And we will see y'all all next week with a found footage movie.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.